Let's bring in Eric Schoenberg. He's a private investor. He's part of a group called the Patriotic Millionaires. This is a group of wealthy people who want to pay more in federal income tax. Have I got that right, Eric?
Yes, you do.
I think you're going to get your wish.
I hope so.
Shall I explain it?
Please do.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Individual income tax rates at the federal level are probably going to come down under the President Trump's plan. But you rich guys are going to lose the tax deduction which you currently get for your state and local taxes, your state and local income taxes. You lose that deduction. So you're going to get a whopping great bigger tax bill. I take it you're happy with this?
Well, the devil is always in the details. And the White House certainly has rhetoric that I'm favorable towards, but the policy positions that are actually advocated rarely seem to match up against this.
Okay, well,
I will bet you, and I will happily come back with my tax return.
You haven't answered the question.
When there's an actual policy in place, let's come back. I will come with my tax return, and I'm going to bet you it actually is going to save me money on taxes. It is true I pay a lot and get a large deduction for state and local taxes.
And you won't
but given the size of my income, that is overwhelmed by the benefit you get from lower rates. And I can almost guarantee you, forget me for a second, let's look at President Trump's cabinet. If we look at the people in this cabinet, people who have, tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars in income, I absolutely guarantee you whatever policy comes out of Congress is going to lower their taxes.
Trouble is, it's not income, it's wealth. And you've always failed to make the distinction between the two. Let me get back to my original point. If you live in New York City or New York State or California or Illinois, they're all Democrat states. There's some very, very rich people, high-income earners in those states who are paying a great deal of money in state income tax. If they lose the deduction for those state income taxes, they end up paying more in tax. The rich are going to get hit from Democrat high-tax states. You don't have to have a number on this. You know that is true.
No, I don't know that it's
what
true.
You want.
That is absolutely untrue. Again, I am totally... If we were actually discussing serious tax reform, like the reform that took place in 1986 during the Reagan administration, which Mr. Stockman and I were both a part of, if we were talking about something like that, I would be wholeheartedly in favor of it. But that was a root and branch ripping out of a vast majority of these deductions. They're not talking about deductions like the mortgage deduction.
No, they're talking about the biggest one of all.
It's not the biggest one. You want to know what the biggest one of all, which I said last time on this show, that benefits the wealthy is the preferential treatment of investment returns. Capital gains and also on dividends, qualified dividends. And, by the way, this whole idea of taking these pass-through entities, which is where I get the bulk of my income now, because I own a business that's an S-Corp, that's a pass-through corporation. If you lower the rates on those things to 15%, my taxes are going to go down dramatically.
Okay. Let me give you an example of someone who currently lives in New York City. This is just a theoretical person. They make $5 million a year in income, on-the-books income from a major corporation. They're the president or the executive vice president, one of the two. $5 million in income, live in New York City. They will be paying approximately $2.5 million in income taxes on that $5 million income. They get a deduction for those $2.5 million paid to local authorities. If that deduction goes away, suddenly they don't get that whopping great big deduction, and they will pay a huge amount extra on top of what they're already paying. They will. That's the way it will work.
It's an abstract...
You will get what you want.
Again, it's an abstract argument, and I'm saying let's see what policy actually comes out. I'll come with my tax return that looks like this. You bring yours, and let's talk about what actually would be the impact. I'll bet you my taxes go down. And the reason why is ever since 1986...
Taxes.
I do know this.
You know that.
Ever since 1986, every time Congress has mucked with the tax code, I've come out ahead. It's really an amazing sequence of events. But this is part of why I became a patriotic millionaire, because I see the way the wealthy have manipulated the system to this benefit. And yes, I do believe that the wealthy are not paying their fair share.
I have a solution for your problem, and I have the last word. Write out a check. If you've got so much money, you don't know what to do with it, and you feel so bad about all this money, write the check. It's called the United States Treasury Department. It's very easy, Eric, but thanks very much for being with us. It was a real pleasure.
Nice to talk to you.
We always end with a smile.